Hi, my friends. I am so glad that you're here with me today. Today, I have a mom and a stepmom. She has started her own business, really empowering other moms. And her name is Courtney. Welcome, Courtney. How are you today?
Thanks, Amanda. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So I think you have a unique product out there, and I would love to know how you came, I would love to know what it is and what your journey was to come up with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So my company is Lalolo, and what we do is we make beautiful postpartum accessories for new moms.
Mhm.
I started this company as a need for myself when I was breastfeeding my first son, and I used a nipple shield to breastfeed. And it was clear, like the ones on the market, and I would always lose it. And I kept searching for colored nipple shields and I couldn't find one. And I was like, I can't be the only mom out there who's searching for my nipple shield multiple times a day. And I decided to make my own to bring to the market for other moms. And along that journey, not only did I decide to make the colored nipple shield, but I thought, well, you know what? Why don't we make it beautiful for new moms also? Postpartum is such a transformative time in a mom's life that you don't understand until you actually go through it, and it can feel really daunting to a lot of women. And I just wanted to bring something beautiful to them to give them a little bit extra joy in those tough early days of motherhood.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's
our first product
yeah.
is a nipple shield. We have 16 new accessories launching in a couple months in June. So yeah, we're super excited. It's been really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, they are very beautiful. They're nice colors. They look like flowers. I have never breastfed because I only have stepkids, but I can
Mhm.
imagine it can be really painful. Is that what it's for?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different uses for nipple shields. I specifically used mine for pain,
Mhm.
just in those first few weeks of breastfeeding. You know, your nipples are getting used to feeding a new baby. They're not used to all the sucking multiple times a day, like all day long, you're breastfeeding.
Mhm.
And my nipples were just really tender. So my sister, who's older than me and who had a baby before me, was like, you should use a nipple shield. It will save you. And so I did, and it made such a difference. You can also use a nipple shield if your baby has a tongue tie, if you have inverted nipples, baby has poor latch. There's a lot of different reasons to use one.
And I can just imagine that during that time, your hormones are very sensitive, kind of out of whack, I would say. So anything that can bring you a little peace and a little joy is definitely empowering and definitely nurturing to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a statistic out there that 50% of moms who try to breastfeed stop within the first 2 months just because it's so difficult.
Mm.
And I personally think that a nipple shield should be an essential for every breastfeeding mom to have it on hand just in case you need it, to help, because it is so painful, and like your breasts are getting used to something that's completely new that if you're a first time mom, you've never done before. So to have it on hand can be like, a saving tool to help your breastfeeding journey.
Yeah. And I know as women, we have so many shoulds, like we should on ourselves a lot. And that's such a huge one. I know I've had friends who have had to give it up and they're like, I feel like I'm failing my baby. I feel like I'm failing myself, probably feel like they're failing society when really they just don't have the tools to do it correctly.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I always say, like, a fed baby is a happy baby. It doesn't matter how you feed your baby. And my company is not a breastfeeding company, it's just a company for moms. Whether
Mhm.
you formula feed or you breastfeed, it does not matter whatsoever. And I fed formula to my daughter. Like, I didn't breastfeed her the whole time because I couldn't. And that's fine. You don't have there shouldn't be shame around not being able to breastfeed your baby, because if you think about it, like when you grow up, you don't talk to your friends about, "Oh, were you breastfed or were you
Yeah.
formula fed?" You don't talk about that. It's not a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely taking the stigma and the shame away from that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So your products, can you tell us a little bit about your products? I know I have looked at them and they are, they're silicone, but they're very safe. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, with any nipple shield, they're 100% silicone,
Mhm.
medical grade, safe for mom, safe for baby. There's no harm in using one. It's not going to hurt anything. And one of our missions is always to make sure that we're providing safe and effective products for new moms.
That's amazing. So how
Yes.
has this journey and this business changed your life, do you think?
Oh my gosh, it's been so crazy. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit and I knew I always wanted to do something or kind of own my business, but I never knew what it was. And when this idea sparked, um, I felt a lot of passion behind it. And I knew that I needed to be passionate about what I was doing and that it needed to have meaning for me to care about it. So it's been wild and crazy, and entrepreneurship is not easy
Mhm.
whatsoever. I don't have any background in a product-based business whatsoever. My background is in retail. I worked for Target and Amazon for 12 years, in stores and in distribution through leadership. So it's been a whirlwind, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I've learned so much, and it has been just so rewarding to do something and know that I can change, the lives of new moms.
Yeah. I think it's so important for us to look at women like you too and see that we can shift. We can do things that we're passionate about. I think of the kids and stepkids that you have, and that they can just see this role model who says, I am passionate about this. I am going to go after it. I don't have to be the same thing my whole entire life. Like, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you learn this sense of you have like a new drive when you become a
Mhm.
mom, and you don't do things just for yourself. You do them for your kids too. And I do want them to see how important it is to follow your dreams, because I was scared at first. Like, I will be 100% honest. I was terrified. What if I fail? What will people think about me? What if this isn't successful? And I've been able to overcome that and realize that no matter what happens, it's not a failure. It's a learning. And to say that I did it is big. And I want my kids to see that. And I want them to remember that no matter how scared they are, just always follow your dreams and chase it.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I try to talk to my girls about a lot too, because they're in those teenage years and they can be scared about trying things. And I try to remind them that it's always about what you learn from it. So whether you succeed, that's amazing, but whether you fail, that's okay too, because there's so many lessons that you can take away from that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes you learn more from failing than
Yep.
you do from succeeding,
Absolutely.
which is tough when you're a kid to understand that.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
as you get older,
Yeah.
it's a better lesson for you to learn.
Yeah, definitely. So you have your own business, you have your own kids, you have a step kid or a couple of step kids?
Yes, I
Okay.
stepdaughter.
A
Yes.
stepdaughter. Okay.
Yes.
So what are some ways that you take care of yourself through this whirlwind of a business and a life?
Yes, absolutely. I am all about self-care and making sure that, especially as women and mothers, that we are giving ourselves time and giving ourselves grace
Mhm.
in that self-care space. So, what I do is I always get up early. I'm not an early person whatsoever, but I've made sure that I get up at 5 o'clock every single day, because that's my time,
Mhm.
and my husband actually gets up with me and we have coffee. Like, that's our time before our kids get up, and like our day just goes crazy. So it's a time for us to connect and like just appreciate those like quiet moments in the
Mhm.
day. I also make sure that I get my workout in before I start my day. So 6:30 a.m. I'm working out, whether it's, I love my treadmill, I love to lift weights, but something small just to get my endorphins going is really important for me. And then I love to, every night before I go to bed, I lay in bed and I just think about what I'm thankful for, like what went well in the day, just to end my day on like a positive note as I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that part of your self-care includes your husband because I think often we just think of self-care being an individual thing that we do, but really self-care can be spending that time with your loved one. It can be spending your time with a friend, or it can be, taking your kids for a walk. Like self-care can include others. So I love that you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And after work, I really make it a priority. And it's actually been tough for me because I could literally work 100% of the time if I didn't
Mhm.
have kids. But I put my phone on do not disturb when I have them and they're home from school. That's the time that we get together without any other distractions.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
So you have some products coming out soon. Are
Yes.
you able to tell us about any of those? Like a sneak
Yeah,
peek?
a-
Okay.
absolutely. Yes, yes. So our new product line, we have new 16 accessories and they're all breastfeeding essentials. So to play off that nipple shield, they all have to do with breastfeeding. So
Mhm.
really anything that you could think of that you would need for your breastfeeding journey, we're going to have disposable nursing pads, reusable nursing pads, lactation massagers. We have hydrogel pads, hot and cold therapy packs, really all of those little things that you can use to kind of support you through your breastfeeding journey. And they're all made to be beautiful. So our disposable nursing pads are shaped as flowers. They're so cute. Same with our lactation massagers. They're so pretty. And then we also have some really fun like self-care gifts for mom. So we have a journal that's launching. It's half journal prompts for mom, half daily tracker for baby. So that journaling was so important to me when I had my son, just to kind of reconnect with myself. And I want to be able to give that to a new mom. We also have like a breastfeeding reminder scrunchie that you can switch from side to side so you know where you left off when you breastfeed. Gosh, what else do we have? We have a gift set coming out that has all of our essentials in a box, and it's packaged in this really beautiful linen keepsake box that you
Mm.
can use for your baby after you take all your products out to store all of their memories. So
Oh,
lots of fun things like that. That's,
yeah.
just hoping to bring a little extra joy to all the moms out there.
Oh, those sound amazing. Those are great. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Courtney, for coming on today and explaining all of this to us and your products to us. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Amanda. It was so fun
Yeah.
chatting with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for listening. I hope you go out and you look up this and maybe give this to yourself or someone you know that's expecting. What a great like present for someone who's expecting. Yeah,
Yes, absolutely. So
definitely.
you can find
Yeah.
us. Our website is www.wearelelolo.com.
Yeah.
Lalolo is spelled Lelolo. And then we're also active on Instagram at We Are Lalolo.
Yeah.
And we're also on TikTok.
Yeah. And I'll have all those links down below. So don't
Awesome.
worry about that. That will definitely be there. You guys can check out all her spaces. Choose yourself. And sometimes that means choosing things for breastfeeding. So choose yourself. I love you. Have a great day, guys.